Thank you for tuning into another episode of Walden Art. Today I'm going to be doing art review and critique. A little bit about me first. For those of you who don't know who I am or landed on this video for the first time, my name is Walden and I'm a comic book artist for Marvel and DC Comics. I've been doing comics for quite a while now. And I have a Patreon page, which is what this video is about. My Patreon is patreon.com/WaldenWongArt. And over on my Patreon, I have different tiers where you can show support for watching these videos. And I also have tiers where I do mentorship. Mentorship is where artists will do assignments, or they can send me some of the artwork that they've done, and I will review and critique them, just like what I'm going to be doing in this video and in some of my previous videos that some of you have maybe seen already. So without further ado, this is one of my Patreon's work. His name is Milt, and we're going to take a look at what he's done here. Okay, so right over here, there's a Spider-Man piece that he's drawn and inked. This looks pretty good. I like how all the webbings are done this way. But what I would do, I'm also gonna make my markups in red color so you can see what I'm doing. So the first thing right off the bat, I see that some of these taper lines they're going this direction, like going this way. I'd rather it be going around this way. It looks better. Like for example, if you look at the arm over here, these lines that are going this way, it looks nice. It looks very good because it contours around the shape of the body. So that looks very good. One thing I would focus on is to close up these taper lines. So right here, instead of the lines coming out from a blunt, what I would do is I would go in there and I would press into it with a brush or a quill and kind of close up that space. That way you have a nice tip going on this direction right over here. Okay. Another thing I noticed is some artists out there who do inking and they do taper lines, what they'll do is they'll do something like this and then they'll do a double line. Okay, so when they do a double line here, I'm gonna give you guys an example. I'll taper out some of these lines going this direction, and then I'll do that double line. Even though if it's a blunt line over here, it still has a nice fade to it. So we're gonna go back out and take a look. So your choices are, when you're inking, either taper those lines or just kind of do a double line that way, and that's okay too. So one method is this way and the other method is that way. Okay, we're going to take a look at some of these areas over here. So this area, okay, let me zoom in a little bit. This area, I would actually rather just be contoured this way and then close up those taper lines. And then on this side, kind of contour this way. And then as you go into the black area, kind of go thicker. Kind of have a gradual thicker line. So the negative space of this white area, it gets thinner and thinner. So same thing with over here. I'll go thin. I'll go this way around that direction, and I'll go this direction. This gives more form. If you want more shadow, what I would do is then I would cross hatch, or what I like to call it cross tapering. Okay, good job on using white gel pen to ink around here. When I'm working on Spider-Man, I've inked a lot of Spider-Man comic books in the past, and every time there's webbing, usually I like to do double lines. So right now I know that some of the webbing, it's just a line and then you would draw a few squeaky lines like this. What I would do is I would draw a few lines. Milton, who's actually penciled and inked this piece, he did both the pencil and inking. So what I would do is I would just draw this in pencil and then kind of draw some spaghetti lines around it. Kind of go like that, so it looks like it's coming around and going here. Just makes things look a little bit more cooler. Okay, Todd McFarlane, one of the artists that worked on Spider-Man, he made the spaghetti webbing popular. And the same thing here. I would kind of give this. You have this here. I wouldn't do that much taper lines, like all those hatch lines. Instead, I would kind of draw those spaghetti webbing. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. I'm going to sketch out some of the webbing here, and then kind of like with my pencil, kind of draw out that layout, and then just kind of go like this around here, just a little things here and there. And then I'll use my black pencil, and then my black ink, and I'll just ink around. Okay, just ink around, have some loops go around here, maybe a double loop, and then this one goes around here, like kind of going this way, and then this one loops back around this way. Okay, and after you have that, just draw these extra lines in between. Fill that in like this. Have some maybe go into a different direction, maybe cross squiggle like that. That looks a little bit better. So I'm just gonna take all of this. So with my Patreon, usually I'll do adjustment and corrections, and then I'll just send the hard copies back Okay, so there's that. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other areas that can be improved upon. Now, this head here, usually when I'm inking, I like kind of breaking up the lines. Like this line is here, it's a little bit wobbly. So what I'll do is I'll ink a line, kind of go thin here, and then I'll go thicker around this direction. Okay, let me rotate. So when I'm inking, I usually like rotating. Go here, I'll press into it this way. Okay, let me rotate this back. Okay, this way, if you had this shape over here on top of Spider-Man's head, it would look kind of nice. Let me grab this image, and let me grab this image, and I'll show you where I would put that. I would take this, bring this over here, Control Transform, and kind of fit that to the head like this. Okay, that way you break up the line. Usually when the readers read something and they're looking at the image, this light source with this broken line will make that artwork look so much better. And then because there's a little line that's broken, I would make the bottom thicker, which you've done pretty well over here. So the thick line over here is pretty good. With Spider-Man's legs, I would actually make this as thick as possible because the foot is like really far up in the front. Okay, good job on the hatch lines over here where it's kind of spaced fairly even, but I can still see there's a little bit of rushing over here. Anytime I look at anyone's work and I see these back hooks over here, like when they're drawing a line, these little hooks over here, yeah, that tells me that they're going like this, and then you're just going really quickly, and then it creates a hook. Just land that pin, draw that line, land that pin, draw the line, do it one at a time. Okay, if you go fast, there's always that little chance that you have these little extra hooks over there. It could, yeah, you see these hooks are going this way. This one's kind of going this way. I like inking where I'm landing the brush. Let me get that brush over here. Landing the brush as if you're flying the airplane, you're landing in the airplane. You go down, and then right when you're ending that line, you have that airplane take off and go back up. Okay, like that. I like to do that traditionally with the brush. If you're doing this digitally, like what I'm doing here on this demonstration, usually I'll use a smoothing right over here, and then when I do that, it gives me like a nice clean line. It controls it better, and then I can get like a nice sharp tip on both ends, like a sharp tip here and a sharp tip here. Sharp tip on both sides. You see right here, there's a blunt on this side and a sharp on this side. I like the sharp side. I like the side that's sharp, but sometimes there's a blunt here, unless you purposely want it to be a blunt. Okay, all of this is how you control your brush or your nib, or even here I'm using a stylus pin. You're controlling your thick to thin or your thin to thick. Okay, you're controlling your brush as much as you can. I tell a lot of artists that I work with or that I teach that when you're doing artwork, it's not just drawing the lines or inking the lines and tracing lines. It's really how much pressure you put onto your pen and how light of a pressure you ease up. Sometimes a gel pen, this happens. Like when I'm using a gel pen, when this happens, like there's a white line, all of a sudden just like it cuts in the lines because you're pressing too hard with the gel pen. Kind of ease up, let it dry for a little bit, and go back in and draw lightly with the gel pen. If you draw lightly with the gel pen, these lines in between won't happen unless you purposely want that double line. Kind of be a little bit neat about it instead of just drawing a lot of lines. I know you're trying to break up that line. Usually when I'm breaking up lines, I also like to break it up neatly. So if I had some cross hatching going this way and I'm using the white line, I would go in there and kind of cross hatch that white line evenly, just to create a nice fade. Okay, nice job on the really thick outlines on the hand right over here. So that's pretty good, but it's a little bit thicker over here. Okay, I know Spider-Man also has some webbings over here, so I would actually put some of the webbing. Let me grab a red color, and I would go in here and kind of add the Spider-Man webbing, and then keep up with this. Okay, okay. For those of you who don't know, this white line that Milton added here by Patreon, this is very good. Anytime you want to show, like, if you have a black area, say for example, this black area here, and then this black area here, and you fill this part black, all of that will mesh together. If you have a halo, a halo is a white line that helps separates two black areas. Some artists, they like to go in there and kind of like show off their line weight over here. This line weight is a little bit thicker and thinner, and to do that, you just go in there and create a halo. But I would recommend that if you do create halos, try to have that halo a consistent flat thin line. So like just like that. Try not to have it like where it's thin here and all of a sudden it's thick here. You don't want to create line weights on your halo. You just want the halo to help separate stuff. Okay, nice job on these white lines over here. That's a nice touch. That really is a nice touch over there, adding that extra detail. Good job on some of these hatch lines. I know this, it looks like you're drawing a line and you go back and filling there. There's some artists and inkers that will go and do that. But all in all, this is a pretty good, okay ink job. It's not that bad. The angle of the feet, I would probably have this foot angled. I guess this is okay. Let me see. I think if it's angled, let me flatten the image. Layer. Let me see. Layer. Flatten this image so I can play around with it more. Layer, flatten. Okay, and then I'll take this. I think if the foot was maybe this way, yeah, this way looks a little bit better. The other way, it looks like the leg is kind of twisted. If you put the leg forward, it's kind of twisted. But I've seen a lot of comic book artists when they're drawing this way. Yeah, this way feels more natural to me, having the foot like that. Okay, so this is a good job. So this is one of my patrons' pencil and inky job. He also sent me some pencils, so I would like to go over that in this video as well. So I'm going to go here. This is a Gambit piece that he drew. This is a very good pose. Okay, I would try to go in there and mix, fix the hair a little bit. Make, instead of just like a whole bunch just going one direction, try to go in there and give each strand some kind of life. Kind of like fold over, go over like this. Okay, let me zoom in there and make this line thicker. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, let's go in here. Okay, give each piece of hair some kind of form. Okay, one going this direction, one going this direction, maybe some following this way. Okay, and then have some overlap. Just give it more form, and then we have some more strands going down this way, like that. Instead of just going one direction, you just have this more clustered, like this. It feels more full. Okay, but this pose looks really well. Here is Gambit's playing card. To make this image more dynamic, and not only do you see Gambit throwing the card, to create an image where he just swung his arm and the cards are flying out, what I would do is I would draw like maybe a speed line, like 2 speed lines, maybe like this. Okay, and then I would have some speed lines, and then here's a card flying out this way. Okay, so imagine these were speed lines, and here's one card flying out this way, and then another card flying out this way. This looks very dynamic. Okay, so it looks like Gambit just swung and he flew a few cards out. Okay, like this, and then you can go in here and you just kind of like add some of those lines if you want. So and then maybe go in here and erase all these extra ones, images, even though you already added it in there. But that will look, that pose just looks so much better. Let me take a look at the fingers. One of the fingers that I noticed is here's a front finger. I like drawing joints when I'm drawing fingers. Here's this finger. The center finger is a little bit longer. I'll add this one, and then maybe I'll add some that's kind of going down this way, and then the pinky kind of going like that. Okay, just give it a little bit more dynamic to the artwork, something like that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, that's Gambit. Very good job on Gambit. I'm only including things that would make the artwork look even better, but so far so good. Okay, another image that Milt sent is this Batman piece. This Batman piece, so far so good. Reminds me of a Kelly Jones Batman with this long ear over here. And this is not done yet. This is just a sketch. And I do have to say, like, when I'm doing sketching, this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm sketching a lot. The more lines I put in there, the more I'm building up to the character. And this looks pretty good. And then here, there's a lot of broken lines. I don't know if Milt is going for a Sin City look where there's like a lot of like broken lines and white lines. But so far, so good. Yeah, the leg is a little bit too long. I would shorten the leg. The height of the leg, especially to the knee area, is not that long. So I'm just gonna adjust this a little bit. Okay, so let's make that leg a little bit smaller, a little bit not that long. Okay, otherwise, if he was standing with there, he would have a very long leg. Okay, and then the bottom leg. So here's this leg. Here's the knee. Okay, and then here's the back leg, and then here's maybe the feet over here, and then the other leg will have it maybe come out this way. Okay, let's see. Let me draw that a little bit better. Right here, here's the knees, and then here is the feet going this way. So it looks like he's squatting or something. Okay, and it depends on how Milton wants to do his hand, draw his hand. I would maybe have this arm kind of coming forward. Just to have some kind of action going on. So here's Batman's hand, reaching out instead of like going off the page. Again, it really depends what Batman's doing. Okay, next image I have is this is a before drawing that Milton sent me. The layout of this is not complete. This is right over here. This one's Colossus. We have Cyclops, Storm, and then we have Wolverine, which looks pretty good for a beginning layout. And then later on, he sent me another image of a more completed pencil drawing. We're going to take a look at that now. And Colossus looks amazing. Just a few things I see on Colossus that kind of throws it off, and they're tangent seeds. Okay, so right over here, you see how this glove, this is Colossus. Okay, let's take a look at Colossus again. Here's Colossus' head. Very nice job on the head. I think it looks great. The size of it, everything looks great. He's usually a larger character. Now, this is Colossus' chest, which makes sense. I would actually go in here and add a little bit more of his waist over here. Okay, because what's happening right now is this line over here is creating a tangency with the glove line over here. And at first glance, when you're looking at it, it throws everything off. I don't know if the chest is like this, if that's the chest, or if this is the chest. So it's better to add a little bit of a chest, and instead of this line going exactly on that corner, try to have that line maybe come up so it doesn't share a corner. Tangencies always leads the viewer's eye to like certain things that it'll throw off the view of it. So right here, I'll just add a little bit of let me zoom in a little bit. I'll add a little bit more of the waist, just a little bit. Maybe add a little bit of six-pack following it. And then this glove just tilted up this direction. There's also another tangency on this arm over here. This arm leads to this corner here, and is leading to a Colossus thumb right over here. So what I would do with this arm is I would adjust it and maybe show a little bit of elbow, because it does get a little bit confusing here, even though the artwork is really nice. So I would maybe move... Let's see, I would move this arm a little bit higher, show some of the elbow, and then this line come up this way. Okay, so this wrist goes up this way. Okay, here's the elbow, here's the forearm, here's the bicep right here, and then we'll keep this arm that way. So we're not sharing any tangencies. Okay, let's take another look. Okay, here's the thumb. Let me take a look at the thumb. Okay, good job. I'm just going to redraw this a little bit. Okay, good. And then the bumps over here, good. Very nice. Okay, and we'll take a look at the hands. The mouth, I don't know, the mouth is a little bit large compared to the rest of the face. I would try to, I think it looks okay. Yeah, I would make the mouth a little bit smaller. Let's adjust the mouth a little bit smaller to see how that looks. Okay, so the mouth smaller. Yeah, that looks much better. Yeah, the mouth was that, because we still need some chin there. The eyes is a little bit kind of lopsided. You see how this eye is a little bit lower and this one's a little bit higher. We're going to move this eye up a little higher. That looks better. Okay, whoops. We're going to move that right over there. Okay, now let's take a look at, whoops. Okay, let me lock this little layer. Flatten image so I don't move it around again. And this one is, no, that's actually not Storm. That's Jean Grey, Cyclops. Okay, when I'm drawing female faces, I like to have the face more rounded, more on the bottom, more almost like if you think of a smoother shape. When I'm drawing males, you want them to be more chiseled, but for a girl, you want them to be more rounded, like maybe like this. Okay, more softer tone. For a guy, it's nice to have that chisel look. Okay. Okay, and there's Cyclops. Cyclops looks pretty good. Okay, so this is Cyclops looking downwards. I would actually have the visor, this top part of the visor, move down a little bit more. Okay, just make it like that. Okay, and then we have this. I remember Cyclops has these little circles, like where he presses the button on the visor and it opens up that little glass shield, and then the beam just comes right out. And I don't know how it is now. And again, with the hair, it's nicely clustered. I would add some hair, kind of like going on the outside. Don't be afraid to add more hair. Maybe a few strands coming here, and maybe like this. Add a few strands like that. Okay, I think that looks always better. Good job on the inside here. Okay, like this. Okay. Yeah, that Colossus look amazing. It looks like metal. Yeah, go in there and add, like when you're inking, go and add some bloop lines like this. It's gonna look really nice. Okay, always draw the top of the eyelid darker. Whatever you do, always draw the top of the eyelid darker, because light creates a shadow underneath the eyelid over here, nostrils. Let's take a look at the other characters. Okay, good. Okay, good. Here's this. Yeah, so that's one of my Patreon's work. His name is Milton. When Milton first joined my Patreon, he drew a lot of stuff that I had to do a lot of critique and make him do better on his artwork. Lately, he's been on my Patreon for quite a few months now, and then I've critiqued him quite a few times. You can look at some of the past videos of art review and critique and look for some of his work. And he's become a really good artist. He's getting better and better. I really dig this Gambit piece right here. This Gambit looks really good. That's a really good pose. Yeah, and if this is incorrectly... Oh, one thing. If you can add more dynamics to the outfit, put some buckles and folds in there, it will even be nicer. Okay. Good job with this. So I'm gonna send this back to my Patreon. If you have any questions or comment down below. I usually respond to everyone's questions and comments on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to my channel, hit like and share. Until next time, check out my website. My name is Walden Wong. My website is waldenwongart.com, and you can also check my Patreon if you want to be in the tier where I can review your artwork. My Patreon is patreon.com/waldenwongart. Check it out, and I'll add links below this video description as well. Have a good day and keep on drawing. The more you draw, the better you get.